We're gonna open the floor later, pero siguro we can start by you folks telling us about how this project particularly was planned. The microphones are there yata. Palakpakan nyo naman yung mga guests natin, folks.
Yeah, 2024 marked the centennial of my father, his birth centennial. And as a tradition, the Film Development Council and the NCCA usually honor the national artists when they celebrate their 100th. So first was, I received an email from the NCCA, anditong from the office of in charge of national artists.
Palakpakan nyo naman, NCCA,
Si Miss
folks.
L. Danganan and Miss Sharon Beltran. And I was notified that they were going to donate a bust of my father, and it was going to be, the preference was to be unveiled in his place of birth on his birthday. So we proceeded to schedule that. Nagkumontak na sila ng sculptor, and they asked me if I could visit the studio of the sculptor to maybe lend some what I know of his features and all that, para to help him carve out the bust. Anyway, after that, I received also call from Chairperson Joey Reyes, it's your dad's centennial. Let's do something, sabi gano'n. So, naisip ko, what can you do to celebrate Eddie Romero? Siyempre, documentary. And who do you contact to do a documentary? Siyempre, unang pumasok sa isip ko, Baby Ruth Villarama.
Wow naman.
After Sunday Beauty Queen, which I liked so much. No? Naging fan na ako ni Baby Ruth Villarama after that. So we spoke, we had a meeting kami ni Chuck. And eto na, sabi ko, kumuha ka na ng proposal, naging FDCP. So, at saka script and ano.
So Joey, 2 years lang pala to?
Yes. So we started that same year, 2024. Tapos his birthday, July 7, i-unveil na yung bust. Sabi ni baby, that's our day one. Oh, okay, shoot na pala. So, at kaya nga nandun, but it's well covered, yung ano na yun, yung event na yun.
That's
So,
good.
yeah. So, ito na siya.
But yun na nga, if you don't know it, ang dalawang opisinang nag-aabala talaga sa national artists would be the Cultural Center of the Philippines, which collates all the materials of all the nominees for the National Artists of the Philippines. For example, before Nora Honor, folks, yung opisina namin ganyang kadami. And I think si Sir Eddie also, and si Mike, he rejected it. But it's the National Commission for Culture and the Arts who holds the money. So the CCP will organize yung the defense, may mga attorney yan for each of the art forms, and they will speak in front of their peers at dun after siguro a series, it's not only one, will they decide kung sinong bibigyan ng awards. And it's the NCCA ang talagang ang pinaka-mandate nila is to make sure that the memories of all our national artists continue to live on. So, Bebe Ruth, nung kinausap ka ni Joey, what was your feeling? Ayan, beauty contest question.
No, the question is, am I the right person or storyteller to tell Direk Eddie Romero's 100th celebration? Because personally, I never met the man. And my first instinct was to find someone who, have worked with him. So the nearest that I could find was the three proteges. Kasi there are colleagues of mine, Rica Arevalo, Paolo Villaluna, and Elvert. And syempre, parang feeling ko, baka sila yung mas better. I consulted them. And then they said, no, you have to tell it. I guess you're the right person, you respect the family's request. And the challenge for us is really to figure out, first is what would Direk Eddie Romero wanted to say? Because that's difficult, because since he's not around anymore. So feeling ko yung his, not just his historical experiences but something to leave behind towards the next generation. And then by studying in between of our discoveries about his films, it's very important yung stand namin. I mean, I'd like to commend Chuck Gutierrez for helping me out here. So we have to make a
Palakpakan
stand.
nyo naman si Chuck Gutierrez.
Yeah, he's the real cinephile here. It's really to make a stand about film archiving in our country. Because the documentary has to have a voice. What is it trying to say? So we feel like that could be something that would hold this together, not just to give homage to the films of Direk Eddie, but also to really acknowledge the invisible heroes behind the films, the archivists, and the people who are restoring these amazing films na napakahirap na proseso.
So yun na nga, no? I remember we were drinking one night and then you were telling me that you had this project. And one of the first things I said, anong pelikula ang pwede pa natin gamitin? Because you can't make a documentary about a film individual if you don't have at least the materials.
At saka, I don't think you can make a documentary of Eddie Romero without having Professor Nick De Ocampo.
Of course, yes. Oo.
And weaving
Tama.
a thread towards everything that he's been saying, he's been researching about Eddie Romero.
Well, actually, yung character
Thank you,
ni Nicolas De Ocampo is based on Nick
No.
Ocampo.
Nick
Di ba,
De
Nick?
Ocampo.
Well, anyway. But
That's the main thread, Nick De Ocampo.
But yun nga ang problema, I think, di ba? I mean, I remember yung first Manila International Film Festival ni Imelda in I think 1982. That 1980, that version. There were two Eddie Romero 35 mm's that were struck from the negatives, nilagyan ng French and English subtitles. Yung ganito at yung Banta ng Kahapon. Nung tinatanong ko si Onat, no, palakpakan nyo naman yung Sophia folks, they're the ones who organized this. Parang hindi nyo wala na bang kopya yung Banta ng Kahapon? Kasi kung merong ganito, dapat buhay pa yung, or at least, did you find anything? O gusto mo itapon kay Onat?
Yeah, I'd like to throw it to Onat.
Walang mic tayo doon. Sige, sana. No? Dinonate ng CCP to FDCP, but it's alive. Buhay pa siya. Kasi isa pang malungkot, no? Ang ganda-ganda ng Agila. Grabe. Did you like Agila? I mean, I'm very happy sila Jeffrey were able to do very decent, what do you call this, restoration. Pero kulang pa rin, no? Kasi,
Even them, they're not yet happy.
of course, I can imagine. Ha?
Yes, Sir Eddie.
Ayun, yes, sige, go ahead, please.
Direct Baby. Thank you again for the opportunity nga pala. Yung Banta ng Kahapon was, it was nasa vault ng CCP before. So they gave it na to FDCP o to PFA, Philippine Film Archive, under sila Sir Don Arawan. So I think buo pa naman, sir. Hopefully. Hoping.
Sisilipin nyo yan.
Yeah, hoping, sir. Buo pa rin, yeah.
Yung isa pang tragic, kasi I remember I started working
Thank
with
you, sir.
Thank you, Onat. No? Pero, Onat, sandali. Jack, tamoy ako muna. Ano nangyari sa Kamakalawa? Nasaan siya ngayon?
Ayun, Kamakalawas, no print na po. Yeah, oo, it's Umatic lang. So we yung clips na nakita niyo po kanina, we borrowed from Cinema One. And it was produced by sila Sir Joey Hemisphere, no? Yeah.
Hemisphere yan, no?
Hemisphere, not Bancom pala, sir. Sorry.
Oo. Sino yung gumawa?
Hemisphere.
Ano yung
Sila,
ginawa ni
Sir
Eddie
Joey, yeah.
for Bancom? I know he may... Agila. Okay.
Agila, yeah. oo.
Pero, well, you know what happened to Bancom.
So we will try to search kung may print pa. Hope sana meron pa, no? Ang ganda kasi. It's one of the best fantasy films. No?
Well, if I may share, no, I'm the number one pirate in the Philippines. If you're my student, the NCCA top person was my student, so I can use her. Anyway, so, di ba? Well, anyway, alam mo, yung for example, Hemisphere is the producer of one of my favorite Jerry De Leon's, Kulay Dugo ang Gabi. Hemisphere yun, no? Guess what, folks? No existing copy in the Philippines. They were able to find a very clean copy in a video store in California. And folks, if you go to YouTube, andun. Ang linis ng kopya. Have you seen it? Joey, not yet. Sige, I'll give you my pirated copy. Well, anyway, but your father is the producer. But ang problema, no existing audio track na Tagalog. So ang dubbing is yung, oh my God, is he a vampire? Okay, we will have to kill the vampire. And Your father likes to dub everything, right? And yung boses ng pare kay Eddie, yung boses ni... So, that's the tragedy. You have an excellent... The visuals are there. Beautiful color grading, no? Pero wala ng audio, yung real audio. So, sana nga may makita na gano'n. But why am I mentioning this? Because this was, again, nakita lang because some cine addict or cinephile found it in a video store. So, who knows? We might find Aguila or these other films, no?
And the story has to continue because,
Of course.
you know, we are not just preserving our history, but we're rebuilding actually our story again through
like
these archives.
like what Nick said, no, yung basis of Nicolas Ocampo from Ganito Kami Noon. It's all about memory. And if you notice, yung buhay, the history of the Philippines is masalimuot, coloniality, ang daming dumaan sa atin. It wasn't just the Spanish, it was the Americans, and even, pre-colonial Philippines, ang daming pwedeng pag-usapan. But what I think I love, naiiyak ako ng konti when I was watching yung Aguila, yung music. Si Ryan ba yun? That's Ryan, no? I mean, wow. And sana nga, maski na soundtrack, ma-preserve. But the idea of cinema as the healing aspect of our memory, kasi we were traumatized, guys, no? Whether you like it or not, can only be found if we can watch it. So sana nga, mapanood natin ito. Like Nick, I love Ganito Kami Noon. I remember I was still in UP when I saw this in one of the movie houses na ngayon may Born Again na. But what I could not believe was the production design. Sila Lloyda Lim and Peke Galiaga were the ones who production designed this, no? You were a part of that team, Eddie, Joey. So, kamusta? Tell us something about that.
Yeah.
Anong chismis?
Yes, Ganito Kami Noon. I was assistant director for Ganito Kami
How
Noon.
old were you then?
About 14. Sorry.
Okay. Nepo baby. Okay.
Hindi, ano yan eh, kasi my father was in the middle of doing administrative work for Apocalypse Now. And during the whole time that Apocalypse was shooting in so many places in the Philippines, he was just cooped up in the office on the desk. So in his spare time, and there were lots of it, he started writing a script. And he came up with Ganito Kami Noon. Tapos yung Apocalypse Now, which was scheduled for 60-day shooting, kasama ako sa nag-schedule noon.
Nabagyo.
Ang dami nangyari hanggang sa inabot ng more than a year ang shooting. So in the middle of it, after mga 3 months or 4 months into the production, he requested for a leave to do a movie. So pinayagan naman siya, but meron isang condition, kailangan dala niya yung walkie-talkie. So he can be reached anytime in case there were problems during the rest of the production of Apocalypse Now. So yun, ikot naman ng ikot all around Laguna to recreate the atmosphere, the look of the times. So that was yun ang story ng Ganito Kami. All the locations mostly around Laguna.
So I remember when you watch it, no, yung sila Lloyda at sila Peke, they had to be ingenious. Kasi di ba may mga Meralco na yan. Meron silang nilalagay ng mga tampipi or di ba, mga banig just to cover some parts. And but if you watch it, you get lost in the magic of trying to recreate the 1890s.
And parang everybody in the staff and crew also played the part in the movie.
Yeah. Pati si Eddie Rocha was there.
No, si Peke had a role. Si Laida had a role. I had a role. Yeah.
And nakakatuwa nga kasi, during that time, ang pinag-uusapan namin, sige na. Maybe should we talk about this? Pero si Eddie was very fair. If you notice, ang dami niyang beses. Napanood niyo na ba yung Ganito Kami Noon? Can I see hands? So I've seen it. I don't want to spoil it for you, but of course, you should have seen it. Ang daming beses dinefine ano ba talaga ang Pilipino. At maganda yung pinalabas niyo yung scene with the Chinaman, yung Chinese, na kami din Filipino. And it was that era, around that time na ginawa ni Eddie to, na Lino also made a couple of films. At naalala ko pag nagiinuman yung mga tao, si Lino, yung Chinese character, was evil. Do you remember that? sa Manila sa Kunaliwanag. Pero Eddie, yung Chinese niya was very fair. So, I mean, during the... I wish I could just record everything that we talked about when we were watching these films. Naalala ko yung one of the bitchy remarks from somebody, I will not mention the name, yung about the production design of Laida Lim Perez and Peke. Sabi ko, nagdagdag lang ng mga paso. 1890s na, you know how bitchy Filipinos are. But anyway, these films really stand the test of time. And yung state ng pelikula na yan, was that fully restored? Or not? BFI restoration to, no?
ABS.
ABS. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so,
According to their standard.
oo. Ay, isa pa, ba't hindi natin napanood yung No Limitang Here ni Eddie? That was a big mini-series.
Well, one of the things that...
Oh my God, may disclosure ba dito? Sige. Kwento mo
No,
na.
I mean, we also have to be candid about
Go.
access to these films.
Uh-huh.
And of course, we were given a certain timeline to
To
create
work.
the film. CCP gave us a hard time, really
Visit
accessing
na CCP yan, no? Sino bang taga CCP rito? Upaka
It was
ko.
very, very difficult for us. And it took months and then weeks until the parang, Chuck and I had to discuss with Direk na, kailangan ba talaga natin yung No Limit ang Here?
That
And
is
then they were like,
terrible.
asking us to tell a very specific scene that we need. And we were like, no, we
have to see it first.
yes, we have to see it first. And, I mean, of course, as someone who's not that familiar, and we're talking about a series of No Limitang Here. So we offered, we would love to go to your office and watch it for a week, just to really process and tell what we would need.
I hope this is live. If you're live, CCP.
But yeah, it's also, I guess, something to reflect about na when we're talking about film education and film history, I hope access can be easier. Access can be created, especially for the new generation when everything is just swiping left and right. If they will not have an easy access to these important works, then how can they appreciate what was done before?
Maybe my colleague in MTRCB, Miss Joanne Banyaga,
Joanne,
who worked in the
Palakpakan natin
series,
si Joanne. Yeah, would you like
No
to say
Limitang
something
Here,
about it?
and
Yeah.
who worked with
Yeah.
Channel 5, di ba? Di ba may ang Channel 5? May say ang Channel 5 dito sa No Limitang Here na to.
Ito shown in Channel 5 pero CCP pa rin.
Okay.
Pero
Pero,
tinanong ko na yan, nag-attempt
Talaga?
na ako makialam.
Nakiusap, oo.
Kasi gusto ko sanang ipalabas, ma-restore, kung ano man. Talagang pahirapan.
Oo.
Pero nasa CCP ang sagot. Yun lang.
That
Sana lang
is-
mapanood.
well, basta. Maayos natin yan. But the thing is, ang dami kasing, I remember I just joined CCP when they were doing this. Ang daming kwento, di ba, Joanne? Yung mga bahay na pininturahang pink. And these are trivia stories, but they're a part. I mean, production history is the part of any cinema. So the way that ilang months kayo nag-shoot doon? 3 months. And the idea that this was 1990-something, 1990, no? Hindi pa uso yung Netflix, But the idea of a miniserie, was still very fresh. Bride Said Revisited, The Six Wives of 78. But I think this is the first Filipino na talagang, di ba, about Jose Rizal's work and that really delved about, a fully Filipino scene. You were a part of that production also, Joey?
No, unfortunately, I was busy doing another project.
Pero sana nga, if we make an extended version of this one, it would be nice kung madagdag yung makikita pa natin. Okay.
And we created the film as something that can be an open book as well for other filmmakers to focus on other matters on Eddie Romero's life and filmography, because he had done so much. Like even the B movies, I think it's a film in itself. We wanted to to go to LA and interview Quentin Tarantino, pero siyempre yung budget ng docu hanggang Australia lang po yung kaya.
But the tragedy here is we have to go on a begging spree just to find these materials. And kasi nga any archival effort should be fully funded by government. And unfortunately, we had, or we have, I don't know. We have a government that is not so, hindi masyadong friendly when it comes to the archives. So if you're going to make a documentary on the other national artists, ang hirap nun. Sabi nga ni Nick, yung Jerry De Leon, no? I don't think it's even 50%. I think it's only 1% ang natitira if you think about it. So well, that's a tragic part.
I mean, there's always, room to assign it as a big national project. I'm sure, the National Library of Congress maybe.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we have to commend Sir Nick for really, going above and beyond.
Palakpakan nyo naman si Sir Nicolas de Ocampo.
He's been traveling around the world looking for films, and each time that he would post a discovery, it's like, we won a lotto. Like everybody's just celebrating. Oh my God, he has found something at the National Library of Congress.
What I can't forget with Nick is he was the one who gave us the lead na may kopya ng Darna sa Thailand.
Yeah.
And I went there just to magbakasyon, but I said pasyalan ko tong ano. And guess what? Andun nga, but tinanggal nila lahat ng Darna. Only the Valentina, right? Oo. So wala talaga yung Darna part. It was only the Valentina, which to me is the better story than Darna, right? Kasi yung kwento ng bad girl, that was really, but it's still there. And I don't know, I think somebody put it up in YouTube. But do you see it? The issue we're talking about nga is classic filmmakers and their work, no? And unless you have that around, it's really a big tragedy.
Even Hari Sahari.
Oh, isa pa yun.
Onat
CCP din yan, no?
Onat and Sophia group were able to discover that a copy exists somewhere in China.
Oo, tama. Oh.
So, and remember, we were mounting this film at the same time we were doing food delivery. So, I had
Oh
to
my
really
God.
be fair about my sentiments on China. But we so wanted to include that. But wala eh. Closed door, no? Wala pa, no? Wala pang sagot ang Chinese embassy about, giving us access.
Oo, tama. But the Cultural Center of the Philippines is supposed to have a copy because co-producer at CCP. Okay.
I hope CCP, can get in touch with Thailand.
Sige,
And
sige.
I don't know who's really in
When
charge
I
of it.
run for public office, I'll take over the Cultural Center with Nick De Ocampo as...
About time.
No, he's going to be the leader. I'll be the power behind him. Anyway. But yun na nga, I mean, folks, it's really a synergy between government, the academe, and the private sector. Yung private sector, dalawang klase yan. The creatives kayo. And then, of course, the people with the money. So if you don't have at least one side of that, wala talagang mangyayari. So it's really a synergy that's necessary. Maybe we can open the floor and for people who'd like to ask, okay, mahiya? Or would you like to share any of you? Sige, Onat, go.
There's a microphone.
Ay, may sige.
Always forget to ask this to Sir Joey or kay Direk Baby rin, Kasi yung Finding the Filipino Identity, according to Direk Eddie Romero, yung trilogy niya kasi, sir, parang nag-fall doon, was it intentional, yung from ganito to Aguila and then Kamakalawa, parang pa-reverse, pabaliktad, sir. Was it intentional, Sir Joey or Direk Baby? Yeah, thank you.
Yung order of appearance ng tatlong pelikula.
Tatlo, yes.
Hindi sinadya, no? Pero yun nga, yung theme nag-continue lang sa tingin ko.
Parang nag-fall lang at the right place, sir? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess it's just also our hunch. Parang may pagka Peter Jackson, di ba? You go back to the Genesis. Pabalik yung mga sequel to prequel, something like that. But I guess at the end of the day, we always go back, di ba? As we age, we search for the simplest things, the basic things, our childhood memory. May binabalikan tayong identity. I don't know if we've found it yet. I mean, if you've found your identity, then well and good. But as a nation, we're still... It's already there, but it's just that our colonizers have erased it at some point. So parang naging amalgamation of Spanish-American and then, a small percentage of tribal if you might call it that. But it's always been there. That's why I always like going back to Butuan, because Butuan has the center of our history pre-Hispanic time. Andun yun eh. If you wanna know who the Filipino is.
Yeah.
Doris Guillen is
Doris is from
Butuan.
Butuan, and ano,
Balanghay.
Butuan is trying to strive for that. And the mayor, the local arts council is very strong because nakikita nyo, yung pinag-uusapan nating synergy, the mayor there is amazing. For example, can I just share? Sorry, but when I asked them, how much is your budget for the Cine Balangay? It's a third year. It's 2 million. Samantalang yung Nabi Filmex, which is in Nabunturan, and the Ngilngig, which is one of the few horror film festivals in Asia, is in Davao, 300,000. So lahat kami, sabi na, can we be adopted na lang in Butuan? I don't want to go back to Manila anymore. But do you see it? It's only when local government sees the value in cinema. And what is the value of cinema? As Nick said, it's memory. The idea, your cultural heritage, is something that people can access on a regular basis. Kasi ang problema natin, hindi lang coloniality ng mga Amerikano and everything. Now you have the internet and you see it, the digital natives, the attention economy, surveillance capitalism, yung takbo ng utang ng lahat ng tao, di ba? It's easily getting erased. And what is the thing that can possibly save it? It's cinema. But then for a cinema to be alive, we have to have it. It's an artifact, as Nick said. It's not just in our mind. I know you want to ask Nico a question. I can see a bubble in your aura. Sige, pasahan nyo ng mikropono to. Oh, yeah. Meron pa pala doon. Sige, si Richard Merck. Palakpakan nyo naman si Rich.
Now, I have a question for Direk Joey. It said kanina na there's a last script that was never turned into a movie. Are you planning to do this movie? This script?
There was already they were already starting pre-production on it. Actually, Miss Joan Banyaga would know because she was going to be the assistant director. Under the production of Papa Jesse Ejercito. But unfortunately, I think that was during the time of the impeachment of Era. Was it? So hindi natuloy? Or yeah. Oo, so hindi natuloy. Ngayon, sabi ko nga kay Joanne, dalawa lang ang pwede mag-produce niyan. Sabi ko gano'n. Si MVP o kaya si Nando Ortigas. Pero sabi niya, hindi, dalawa lang si MVP at si MVP, sabi ni Joanne. So,
Why not?
Sabi ko, ano mo na, i-pitch mo na. Sabi ko gano'n.
Pero,
so, di ba?
maganda kasi yun, di ba? The documentary was saying that it's almost like a sequel to ganito because it talks about our national heroes from the points of view of ordinary Filipinos.
The national heroes coming together.
Coming together,
with,
pero
ordinary
sila lang
Filipino.
background
And
characters.
magiging interesting kasi may Eddie Romario touch yung characterization ng heroes natin. Si Rizal, si Jacinto, and si Bonifacio.
I would love to see that. So, whose arm do we twist at this
MVP.
point? But,
Yeah. May I add something?
Go.
When we were conceptualizing the narrative arc for this documentary, the initial script was actually to do the pre-prod of the script. Like to interview, people that he has worked with, probably like Ryan Cayabyab doing a sample music, and then we go back to the archive. Pero when we were doing the numbers, parang hindi kakayanin kasi it would entail the pre-prod budget of the film itself. And we feel like parang ang hirap pangunahan ng script. So, and I think the archiving aspect is something that we should also give focus. So we decided on this narrative arc in the end.
Thank you, Richard.
Joey, question. Are the screenplays of Direct Eddie still alive? Kasi if they are, I would love to see a book, even the original English, tapos the transcription of the Tagalog. Maybe? Kasi si Ricky has done that, but I'd love to read, Aguila and everything like that.
Yeah, una sa lahat, Ang material ng ganito kami noon, nasa NCCA ngayon. It's in the hands of Miss El Danganan. It's supposed to go into publication soon with pictures.
Uy, beautiful.
Behind the scenes and all that.
It's a collaboration between NCCA and CCP. So we'll be funding it, and then we're collaborating with CCP to edit it, and of course to incorporate articles, as well as to improve, of course, the material, because it's so rich. Kapag nakita niyo po yung binigay sa akin na photo album, nako, it's really going to be a treasure for the film community once it
So
comes
this
out.
is ganito.
Yes.
Pero sana we can have the rest. I'd love to read Aguila. Kasi, well, I have a hard time just looking at the chalked hair on production design. But I'm sure the story is amazing. So, anong target nyo though? When is it coming out?
Ideally next year, fingers crossed. But again, it's, as you already have made many mentions of, government processes do take time. But rest assured, the material is with us, and it's
Okay.
definitely in the pipeline.
Okay. So, anong balak ninyo, FDCP, no? With the film, are you bringing it to the regions? Are you doing an Eddie Romero retrospective of what's available alongside this film?
Well, definitely. Of course, there are constant plans with FDCP to make sure that this film reach universities, especially universities with film courses. And one of the major, can we announce? Yeah, but this film has been invited in the US to be part of this Metro. Oh, sorry. So one of the festivals there.
Ang dami naman sikreto ng Voyage.
Parang homecoming daw. So, because, Eddie Romero is not just like a Philippine-based director, but he has done a lot of B movies in Hollywood. So, I think it's also important to have a homecoming there with the actors and the people that he had worked with.
I'd love to see director's box set of his B movies. Don't forget, genre films is the reason why we have cinema. Right? It's the reason why people started watching it. Naging experts sa cinema. But remember, without the entertainment aspect, we wouldn't even be sitting here. Do you have the complete of your father, the B-movie DVDs at least?
I have a few of them. Andrew Leavold gave me some of the movies. So in fact, some of the scenes that you saw here, galing sa sa mga DVD
sir.
supplied by Andrew.
I'd love to hear more about many things, pero siguro mas maganda over Red Horse. So bakit na walk out si Mike De Leon sa Aguila?
Mike's very professional.
Okay,
so that was we're shooting in Binondo. He lit up the street. Wow. May mga fire trucks doon diniligan yung kalye para for the lighting, para mag-bounce na dahil basa no. So mas maliwanag to help his lighting. Ready na ako. Wala pa si Amalia. So, ito na naman. Hintay. And then it was drying up already. So he hosted it again. Tapos ito, I'm ready, sabi niya. Wala pa rin. And then, pagdating ni Amalia, okay, let's take it. Wala na si Mike. Ayun ang nangyari.
But I would love to read about this. Why? It just tells us our geniuses of Philippine cinema. Mga tao din yan. Mga katulad natin sila, mga chismoso, mga diva, etc., etc. And yeah, I teach in school. So when tama yung, sino ba nagsabi noon na, si Chanda yata nagsabi nito, unfortunately, you teaching film students na hindi pa nakakapanood ng Eddie Romero or don't have the opportunity to watch a Jerry De Leon or things like that. And of course, I'm not saying na walang ng effort, but I'm just happy FDCP and NCCA and CCP, is continuing the effort to do this. And even Q Cinema, they're helping us out. So, I hope something comes out. But anyway, sige, who else would like to go? You first. Okay. Well, introduce yourself. I'm not wearing my glasses if I know you. Okay.
No, I'm sure you don't know me. I'm Jay. I'm just a film enthusiast.
Hi, Jay.
Thank you, both directors, for making this documentary very insightful. So my question primarily is for Direct Baby Ruth. All out na po ba yung mga scenes dito, or do you still have a lot of material in the cutting room floor? And when, I'm putting it out there in the universe, when you get a copy of No Limitang Here, do you have plans to make a 2-hour director's version of this? Because that would really benefit us. And then one of the areas that I wanted more focus on is actually the co-production of Direct Eddie. Because I think for the current film industry to survive, FDCP is pushing for co-productions with different countries. So maybe Direct Joey can also share with us how Direct Eddie got started with doing co-productions. And then maybe, I'm just excited for more material. This could be a 2-hour documentary. Thank you. And to lighten things up, for Direct Baby Ruth, I'm just very curious, very trivial question. Were you named after the chocolate bar? Thank you.
Okay, that's okay. You can go with the last question first. Okay.
No, I'm not named after the chocolate bar. My father's name is Jose Villarama, Jose Fernando Villarama Jr., and his nickname was Bebe. So he passed away already. And
Okay.
yeah, and then I have aunts. They call Tita Baby. I don't know, mahilig sila sa baby sa Bulacan. So, baby boy, Tita Baby girl, mga ganyan. So, I don't know. But to answer your questions, of course, there were a lot of anecdotes talaga. Like even yung scene with Paolo Villaluna, syempre yung mga, tantrum sa set, sobrang bait ni Eddie, yung iba, yung mga dramas. And I personally wanted to include that. Pero syempre, di ba? Wag muna. Kasi this is a celebratory theme documentary. And 1 hour lang talaga yung ni-require sa atin to make it. Because nga, as part of the film education series of the National Artists Program, yun lang din yung limitation din ng, I guess, the resources and then the running time. But given the chance that I'd be able to get copies of the No Limitang Here, I would love to add more anecdotes. I mean, Miss Joanne's sharing, ang ganda-ganda nun. My God, para kang nag-film 101. We can just, roll her interviews. Ang sarap pakinggan.
Sana pala, no? Pinodcast nyo na lang.
Sobrang ganda. And also, ang dami pa. Like, there's still, Ian Kasokot from Silliman University of Dumaguete, he mentioned that he was able to interview Direct Eddie few months before he passed on. Yun lang, hindi niya makita-kita for some reason. Hindi niya makita-kita o busy siya. So sabi ko, Ian, once you find it, send it over because I would love the voice of Eddie Romero to be part of the film. I'm sure feeling ko CCP would have a longer version nung interview, but sa
Marami
YouTube
yan.
ba natin nakuha yun, Sir Chuck? And yeah, and Terry Malvar,
Palakpakan nyo, associate producer, Terry.
Yeah, she was one of, oh my God, she was scouring every places and talking to people to check ano pa yung mga resources. So once, they surface, we would love to, add them on. Kasi kumbaga, not just historical fact, but really a window to the future, of all possibilities. Yung vision ni Direct Eddie, parang possible na ma-achieve natin with the future generation of the next filmmakers.
But I have a feeling NCCA naman has it on their timeline, no? This is just the first of many projects that will celebrate national artists, and there could be a part 2 of an Eddie Romero, right?
FDCP.
I'm sorry, FDCP.
Opo.
Oo. Pero di ba NCCA also gave some money to this? Hindi. Okay. So I shouldn't talk to you. It's FDCP na lang pala. Okay.
But thanks to NCCA.
O naman,
because-
sila yung...
they were the one who really celebrated Direct Eddie, yung museum in Dumaguete. Of course, the museum itself and also the bus. So, ganding. Kumbaga yung collaboration of these agencies. Yeah.
I owe someone.
Yeah, go.
I owe him an answer.
You have an answer.
How did he get into
Yeah.
co-production? I think we all know how he started. No, he was hired by Jerry De Leon. Jerry De Leon discovered him through the Free Press. He wrote a short story. Nabasa ni Jerry De Leon, and he called him and asked him to be a script to do a script for him. Jerry De Leon didn't realize this was an 18-year-old kid, no, who was going to talk. So he got started with that. Tapos the war broke out, and then natigil sandali. But he started directing na. And then my grandfather, who was a diplomat, my namesake, Jose Romero, he was the first ambassador to the court of St. James in London. And so my father would be going there once in a while, and he met these filmmakers of note. Tapos that's when he got exposed to this. That was my grandfather. After London, was assigned to Washington. So ganun din, he would be traveling and meeting all these people until he got an offer. I'm not so sure if it was if it was Roger Corman who first offered
Roger
him.
Corman, another B movie, great.
Yes. So American International Studios took notice of him. So yun mga series ng Blood Island, marami yun eh. Tuloy-tuloy na from then.
But yun na nga, very nice question. But I would love to see a movie about the friendship of Jerry De Leon and Eddie Romero. Diba? And all the chismis. All the girls. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I know some of them. But, diba? Somebody should really do that because the friendship was unique. I don't know if any other filmmakers na ganun ang tandem nila, no? Hemisphere. And as I mentioned, yung vampire films ni Jerry De Leon, Kulay Dugo ng Gabi, Ibulong Mo sa Hangin, sila yung magka-tandem dyan eh. So again, I'd like to find out ano yung synergy nila as best friends and who thought of what. And yeah, so
Somebody needs to write that.
somebody needs to write that. Maybe you know, cineast. There's somebody who raised their hands. Seymour, sige. Palakpakan natin si Seymour, formerly of FDCP.
Curious lang ako kasi while watching the film, nakita ko na yung bus kasi we were planning to attend that. No? We shot a film in Dumaguete and we're familiar with Eddie Romero's background sa Dumagueteño. Tapos, doon sa dulo, ni-reveal na nga siya. Tanong to kay Baby Ruth, baka trivia lang ito. Tapos biglang nag-end siya doon sa parang food delivery shot of the dolphins. Kaya akala ko doon na siya sa unveiling of the bust matatapos. Why decide on the dolphin shot instead of the bust? Yeah.
The bus kasi is Eddie Romero. The dolphin signifies Dumaguete. So we wanted it to become beyond the man. But because, Eddie Romero was shaped by the place and the history of Dumaguete. The war and also parang yung soul of Eddie Romero. Parang nandun na siya. It's out in the open. It's in the ocean where we can all touch. But it's a good question because we were also reflecting on it. Parang I don't want it to end sa isang bust kasi bust is something na kumbaga frozen delight ng isang national artist. But the legacy of Eddie Romero should be out there in the open where everyone can really embrace it and wash them over. Parang baptism. It's like, his story is there. His spirit is there. Even the drone shots, we wanted it parang the soul of Eddie Romero. Roaming around, going back. And then yun, dahil I think it's very also special sa family nila. They love swimming. They love the outdoor scene. So, yeah. Hindi naman sa food delivery, pero ang ganda lang kasi ng Dumaguete.
No, why not? I mean,
Paramdam na rin siguro yan. Papunta na yung dolphins sa West Philippine Sea.
tama. To save us. No, but what like Nick De Campos said, you cannot have an Eddie Romero without the environment of a Dumaguete.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Philippine cinema. You're made by your environment. Lino Broca was from Bulacan, di ba? Nueva Ecija pala, I'm sorry, Nueva Ecija. And you cannot take the province or the city out from the filmmaker. And yeah, pero sana nga, meron kang dalang pure gold na bag para at least, we could get some money.
We're all
from that.
shaped by our homeland.
Oh,
Even
naman.
me, my sensibility, Chuck and I, we're from Bulacan.
Ay,
So
sige.
we're hopeless romantic when it comes to our storytelling.
By the way, the next Cinema Rayon will be held in Bulacan. folks, believe me. Unless masulot sila na 100 islands. Sana 100 islands. Anyway, oo nga, kasi masarap mag-swimming. But I just need a clarification kasi whenever I talk to Direk Eddie, he tells me hindi naman siya Siliman, is Polytechnic. Di ba? He always told me that he wasn't really, hindi ba niya kinikwento? Basta sabi niya mas close siya sa Polytechnic ng Dumaguete School.
It was always Siliman.
Siliman ba? But was I?
I don't know where that came from.
Maybe I was on drugs that night because whenever I go to Dumaguete, yeah. You know.
Manila?
Hindi, merong polytechnical something institution. But anyway, sige, let me clarify that. Sige. Maybe I'm talking of somebody else. The floor is still open, folks. No, please take this opportunity to ask questions. Direk Soki, did you ever meet Eddie?
No, not personally, but I actually have seen him.
Okay.
That's it, diba? And I really love Dito Na Kami. I saw that as a young girl, right? I just want to tell you, Baby Ruth, that after watching your film, I'm so scared now. My
Bakit?
imposter syndrome has become even stronger.
But he would have loved you guys.
No, because because I'm supposed to do something, and following Baby Ruth makes me shiver in my shoes.
You can do it direct.
Okay, thank you, but thank you. No, I don't have any questions. But I actually nagutom ako.
Bakit?
Nagutom ako dito. Meaning, I'm wanting for more.
More.
This is what
Tama,
is
tama,
what
tama.
the documentary did to me, right? It's like I've seen some. I'm now so interested in the B films. I mean,
Yes, right?
I said,
Okay.
wow, this is amazing, you know.
Sige.
And now
I have a
wanna go-
pirated site. Anyway, I'll just send it to you.
So I want to check out all his B films, right? I want to. I've seen Aguila, but I want to watch it again. So I think the effect of this documentary on me is like I want to learn more about this man. That's it. So that's my takeout as a viewer.
Then it's a very good documentary.
Thank you.
because-
Yes, absolutely.
But one of the things I want to share, sana hindi nakikinig si Joanne, yung No Limitangan is in YouTube. And he never heard it from me. Anyway, so the Eddie Romero, yeah. Anyway, I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thinking that, wala lang. I'm just reflecting, can we use that? But no, we have to
No, you
also ask
can't. No, you
permission.
can't.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the purpose. For people to not just appreciate, but to be curious more about Eddie Romero works. And also, appreciate film archiving. Open it up for agencies and billionaires, to invest.
Billionaires. Okay.
Really invest, in Philippine cinema. Not just about archiving, but to tell these stories. And the script, my God, the script of Eddie, the last script of Eddie Romero, that would be epic.
We only have time for, I think, one or two more questions. So if you take this opportunity, folks, no, minsan lang tayo magsama sa. Ay, by the way, do you love the new theater? Yes or no? Yes. I love it. So, yeah. Do you sense the ghosts of Intramuros? They're here with us right now, but I can sense them.
Ed,
Go.
excuse
Sige,
me.
Mark. Yeah, sige.
I just want to ask you, Ed,
Go.
are you related to Einstein?
Don't. I am Einstein.
Okay.
Marami akong utang when I left. But yes, I am. But folks, the idea of... I love that the building is called Philippine Film Heritage Building. I love the idea that one of the first events is a documentary made by an award-winning documentary filmmaker celebrating a classic Filipino filmmaker. And hindi lang ordinaryong filmmaker but panay na ang quote ko sa'yo. Magkano ba yung GCash mo? Pati nga para for everything but what he said is that Eddie Romero's gift is yung kanyang tanong, ano ba ang Pilipino? No? Now, of course, I don't think we will ever answer it, and that's a good thing for me. But the idea that a guy who could have who did werewolves and nipples and all of that, would still insist on asking that question, which is really very, very crucial. Pag kayo ba, father and son, do you talk about Filipino or something else? Honestly.
Everything under the sun, siguro.
Oh my God. He must have been fun. Kasi the few times I talked to him, he's a fun guy. He knows everything. He's a polymath. Okay. So, meron pa ba? Okay. Oh, Nico, sige. Nico, magtanong ka na. Kasi kung hindi, kukwento ko sa kanila yung love life mo.
I do have a question, pero I don't think anyone can answer this question here na nasa room na to. Because I wanted to know when they were discussing kung ibibigay yung National Artist Award kay Eddie Romero, kung nakatulong ba or nakasama ba yung B-films niya.
Can I answer that?
Yes, sir.
Kasi I was there at the CCP. No. No problem. Because I'm just happy that well, di ba may mga national artists na porque yung buhay niya, she was taking this or that. Basta, ang daming naging issue. At least yung panahon ng kay Eddie Romero when he was nominated, hands down. No need to go for the second step. And even Jerry De Leon, my God, di ba? Marami siyang ginawa na American B-movies. And then he also made genre films, mga Jezebel and Darna. It shows you the best Filipino filmmakers that we have, hindi sila natatakot sa word na genre. It's only now yung mga mayabang na hindi. And may mga, I have to be, anyway. Any more questions? Kung wala na, we could wrap it up by asking Direk Joey maybe to say a few words about this film, and then we'll ask Baby Ruth. So Joey, would you like to?
Yes, I just want to thank the Film Development Council of the Philippines, Chairman Direk Joey Reyes, and Direk Baby Ruth for coming up with a great documentary about Eddie Romero. And for all of you for coming here to support the film. Thank you.
Yeah, just immense gratitude and gratefulness for being given the chance to tell a story of a master and a national artist. I'll always say I'm not worthy, but we're students of life in general, and as a documentary filmmaker, it will always be an honor to tell the story of the Filipino artist. That will be one of my greatest honor. Ito na yun, sir. So maraming salamat po.
Congratulations. Bravo, Eddie. Bravo, Joey. And bravo, Baby Ruth. So thank you very much for being with us. And let's come back here for more film events. Thank you very much to the FDCP for having us. Thank you.